Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the live stream today. Man, we definitely have some pretty crazy news to go over here. So, of course, the big news this morning is with Elon Musk. Of course, we have Tesla down 6% here to open the day, and we're actually almost to the low now of yesterday. We're actually right around that bottom support there. It looks like 725 or 726 was the low, and we are actually hitting right off of that and now getting some green momentum back to the upside with Tesla. So I don't know. Personally, I feel like Tesla's going to end up breaking down below this bottom level here. But, I'm sure that the price action is going to be pretty crazy throughout the day here. But yeah, thanks for joining up, everybody. George, Keisha, Hunter, Sean, Alex, Raymond, thank you so much. Hunter says, I kind of figured Tesla needed to fire people after seeing Elon's emails. Yeah, you're probably right, Hunter. I mean, I've seen so much crazy stuff in his emails lately, but yeah, these emails were pretty telling, to see people talking about Elon feeling super bad about the economy and they need to cut 10% of Tesla's jobs. That is pretty insane. I mean, 10% of jobs, I know that that's quite a bit, but I wouldn't have thought that Tesla would need to do that. I thought maybe some other companies or something like that would have to do that, but hey, I guess even Elon understands that, hey, we're going to have some issues coming up. It looks like they said here he warned in recent weeks about the risks of recession, but his email ordering a hiring freeze and staff cuts was the most direct and high-profile message of its kind from the head of an automaker. So, yeah, I guess it's pretty big. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with maybe Ford, GM, and a couple other, excuse me, maybe a couple other of those bigger EV companies, or I guess you could say just bigger auto companies in general. Obviously, Ford and GM are just now getting into the EV market, but nonetheless, though, I'll be curious to see maybe if they have to cut some of their jobs as well. But yeah, just kind of scrolling through the article here, it's just not good. They're just saying that these are they're saying it's Musk's gloomy outlook, and they're saying that kind of mimics what J.P. Morgan Chase's CEO Jamie Dimon was saying earlier in the week too. I remember, especially during the YouTube videos at night, we were covering Jamie Dimon's comments quite a bit, where he was also talking a lot about the economy. But yeah, that is just not good, guys. To see Tesla have to cut those types of jobs is rough. I will say though, so far we are really holding up though at that 727 bottom support area. Looks like it definitely is holding up for now. So we'll have to see what happens. But it did kind of double bottom right there. Like I said, though, I do expect this one to probably end up falling back over. That is some pretty bad news there. Keisha says that she killed it in OKTA. Let's go see that. OKTA. Wow, Keisha, that thing really exploded with those earnings last night. Wow, they blasted above 95 all the way up to 111. I mean, wow, that is a good trade there, Keisha. Great pickup there. They definitely kept up with that momentum, and I'm really glad to see that they ended up recovering, and I don't call that quite a gap fill, but I'm glad that they kind of went up and got back into that range up there, around 110 to 125. Now I'm kind of looking for that move to 125, but yeah, good trade with OKTA there, Keisha. Really, really nice, and, of course, that was a big earnings move, so I hope you really got some nice gains out of that one. But as always, guys, let me know what stocks you want to see, and don't forget to smash that like button if you haven't yet. Of course, that always helps out, and everything like that. YouTube will push the stream out to more people, and we'll end up getting a few more viewers and cool conversations going here in the chat. But yeah, if you guys have anything you want to see, just let me know here. Kind of looking at my watch list here to the upside, the only stocks, I only have a few stocks in the green. I mean, probably about 10 stocks or so. But I did notice that Twitter was actually exploding up this morning, which is quite interesting. So we have Tesla exploding down, and we have Twitter actually exploding up. And it actually says that Tesla, it looks like Twitter stock is rising because apparently the waiting period under the Hart-Scott-Rodino Antitrust Improvement Act with respect to the buyout agreement with Tesla Inc. has expired. The expiration of the 30-day waiting period was a condition of the closing of the deal. Meanwhile, Tesla stock slumped 4.6% ahead of open. So they're pretty much saying that I guess that with the way that this buyout deal expired, it's helping Twitter stock rise back up. But either way, it's kind of weird to see that it would expire like that. It's just kind of like a waiting period that expired. So keep that in mind. It's not like like the deal expired or anything like that. It's just like the waiting period. But nonetheless, that really helped Twitter up this morning. They're really exploding. And like I said, Tesla was kind of falling off. So to see Twitter up is a pretty big deal here. And if you guys know anything more about Twitter this morning, definitely let me know in the chat below. I haven't really heard any big news about them till I just looked at it on that Thinkorswim news tab there. So nothing too crazy, I guess, with them. But, I think they could end up going up more. They're only up like 1.7%. I would definitely hope that Twitter starts to get some more good movement coming in. I did notice today that oil plays were going up, though. We have ZOM, Oxy, it looks like, CVX. Those three are starting to rip right back up. I know CVX and ZOM look particularly good. But, yeah, Oxy is still kind of low today, but maybe they'll start popping up with the rest of these oil plays. I would not be surprised if they did. They've been on some pretty crazy tears lately, to say the least. I also noticed that some other stocks like McDonald's and Kraft Heinz were also back into the green, which is good. I know those stocks have kind of been consolidating, especially Kraft here. I'm really happy to see them coming back. Hopefully Kraft can keep pushing back up for me. I will say, though, I'm not too optimistic with the way this daily chart looks, guys. This is a rough daily chart with Kraft, the way they started tumbling over here. Ever since it looks like the up day, the last day that was truly like green for Kraft was like May 16th, and ever since that day they started just really turning over there as Target and Walmart and all those big players started reporting. So pretty bad there with Kraft. But yeah, we have kind of Twitter here still picking back up. It looks like they're now up around 2% on the day. I will say their setup here doesn't look too bad. They're starting to finally break above that resistance around like $40.80 or so. And, if they can keep running here, I would definitely hope that Twitter could have a nice uptrend. And, they have that good news pushing them up. So I kind of like them, to say the least. Hunter says, Tom, remember when us and 99.99% of people on Discord were right about inflation and all the experts were wrong? Yeah, you're right, Hunter. That was pretty funny. And I remember you, Hunter, specifically kept saying the market would do very well there with inflation. And I'll tell you what, it really did for a while. It kept going up and up and up heading into this year. It was kind of insane how we just kept rising up, even though Powell and them were still saying that inflation was transitory and blah, blah, blah. I guess once that finally wasn't the case anymore, the market started finally turning. But yeah, that was insane, Hunter, the way the market was rising and the way inflation just kept rising there. That was definitely big. And Hunter also says Elon sent an email saying if they don't come into work, then he assumes they resign when there isn't enough office space for everyone to come back. So he's going to be able to fire a lot of people without paying severance. That is kind of true there, Hunter. I didn't even think about that. If there's not enough office space, that would kind of not incentivize the workers to come in. And then, yeah, like you said, they could potentially, I guess, be fired. So, yeah, good point there, Hunter. And that, like you said, then they won't have to pay severances and they won't have to pay, like, unemployment. I don't know if that counts as a severance, but, they won't have to do a lot of that crazy stuff that, I know businesses have to incur. I know sometimes it costs businesses quite a bit to fire some people. I've dealt with it with my family's businesses and different things like that. So sometimes it can definitely be crazy. Alex says Costco in the green again. Let's see. Costco, is she? She tried. Looks like she tried there, Alex. Personally, I don't think I'll see Costco back in the green again today, especially with the way the market's slowing down. I will say, though, Costco's had a great past few weeks, and I hope they keep going. It's just, I feel like they're a little bit overextended, especially after yesterday. Like, that was a big move to the upside. I could see him just consolidating down today and just sitting down a little bit. Muscle says, Elon is a genius. He is hoping people will quit. Then he doesn't have to pay severance or unemployment. Okay, yeah, that's probably why Hunter said that then. That makes sense. There, Muscle. Thanks for the nice comment, though. That's definitely big there. Like I said, that sometimes that's a huge cost for businesses there, is sometimes getting rid of people. So it can be pretty hard to do that sometimes. Mike Chang says, happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, let's kill it today. Hopefully we can bring in some nice profits and get some nice trades going here. There's some pretty big moves happening today. I know Tesla's been big. Twitter's been big to the upside. Let's see what else has been moving today. I know there's been some other big plays to the downside. Wow, Asana ended up falling down 9% with their earnings, which is rough. Looks like we have DoorDash down 6.5%. MU is down 6%, which is pretty crazy, guys. MU is really falling off the board. Like, what happened here? I'm going to have to look at this. Like, they definitely had some news come out, I'd say. I'm going to see this. Piper Sandler cuts Micron Technology to underweight from neutral, changes their price target to $70 from $90. No, that is not good, guys. That is bad for MU. That is a big cut there. They cut that down to 70 from 90. That is, I've been seeing some pretty big revisions lately, but I wouldn't have thought that, MU would be revised that much. But hey, I guess they're looking at supply chain issues and a whole bunch of things going on in the market right now. And, I'm sure if inflation stays high and, people start watching their spending, I'm sure that some of these chip stocks and other things like that will probably get pretty brutal here. So, yeah, that's going to be very, very tough there. But yeah, MU, that is a big drop down 6.5%. That is bad. And it's continuing to sell off, guys. So who knows? Maybe that can make for some good momentum plays today. I know Shopify is also kind of falling off here. Back down below $400 after hitting 400 yesterday. Looked like they might start recovering up. Or they might start, recovering back. But yeah, they are pulling right back. Well, guys, Shopify actually has a split coming up on... looks like August 28th, June 28th. Sorry about that. June 28th, 2022. So that's going to be big. Don't forget, guys, Amazon has that big split coming up on Monday. So keep that in mind. Personally, I don't think that's going to make Amazon stock do anything. I'm really glad to see that Amazon stock had a bit of a pre-split run up here this week. We had some really nice green days, a lot of price action. I know Keisha was even winning on a couple of those and did very, very well with Amazon a couple of times. So, yeah, good trades there, Keisha. But, yeah, nobody else really caught the move up that I saw. But, yeah, either way, it was pretty good heading into this split. I don't think that we're going to see too much upwards price movement today or anything, especially with how the market's been so far. But I will say it's worth keeping it on your watch list. It's a pretty big company, and whenever that split happens, who knows? Maybe we'll see the market, go crazy or something like that. That would definitely... be awesome there. Hunter says, well, inflation got out of control like you thought. Now market not so good. Yeah, exactly. It did. It just ended up going too out of control. That was the thing. Man, they just never slowed it down, Hunter. You would have thought at some point along the way here, if I go look at a daily chart of SPY, I look at the max daily. Keep in mind, guys, these are some estimates here, but, Powell, last May and stuff started talking about inflation being crazy, and I remember then all throughout the end of that year he was touting transitory, and at some point I was still expecting the feds to maybe start raising rates or start to do something. You would think that they would start to react in some type of ways, they'd been buying up bonds and all types of stuff over those couple years since the pandemic. So I was really expecting them to have a bigger reaction sooner than they did, but it took all the way till the beginning of this year for them to finally start raising rates. And it's man, they waited way too long. And like you said, Hunter, it went totally out of control. They just couldn't control it anymore. And now we're up in the levels of the 70s and stuff. And I don't think anyone would have ever expected that. I was looking at that those inflation numbers pretty hard at the time. And I was thinking maybe we'd get to 5%, maybe 6% or something, and then they'd start to really slow it down. But yeah, it just kept going and going there. But yeah, the inflation's been insane, and man, I'm glad that the feds are finally doing some big stuff. It's big. They were buying up bonds and securities even, and obviously they were keeping rates low, and they just kept touting that the economy was rough and that they needed to keep everything the way it was until they saw numbers go back into the positives and stuff. And what's weird is that I felt like the numbers started getting back into the negatives, and then they started raising rates, which was weird. But hey, either way, I guess they know. So we'll have to see. I guess what ends up happening with the economy, but it's pretty insane all the factors that the feds look at and everything like that. It's kind of insane there. They definitely should have acted sooner. That's for sure. J Deep said they had 100% gain on Tesla puts in 4 minutes. Those options are insane. Awesome, J Deep. Glad you were able to win on those Tesla puts there. Yeah, we fell below that low of yesterday, and we're still going down. We're now below 720, which I thought 720 could have been a pretty big support today, but yeah, we're falling now below that even. We're below that 1,000 SMA there, right at market open, and it's been a rough day for poor old Tesla here. Man, Elon's going to cut 10% of the workforce, it looks like. That is brutal. So, yeah, poor Tesla here just continuing to sell off. I really hope that Tesla can come back, though, eventually. It might take a long time. Tesla, if you've been watching any of Mike and Hunter's weekend videos, go check out the ones on Tesla over the past couple weeks. I mean, there's some pretty cool ones, and they talk about how Tesla is overvalued quite a bit and different things like that. I think they also talk about some like different price points Tesla could possibly get to. Like I know like $400 is somewhere where personally I feel like Tesla could fall to. They could even go lower than that probably. It's going to depend on the overall market too. But yeah, Tesla guys, just keep in mind it's a very volatile stock, and I hope that they do very, very well. Elon actually put out a really good thing on Twitter just yesterday, I believe. I'll actually pull this up really quick here if I can. TWITT. Let's see if we can get Elon Musk Twitter up here. Let's see. Ooh. He's talking about some political candidates. Let's see. This is rough here, guys. He's still talking about politics this morning. Even this morning, he's getting into it. But here's the main thing I was going to show you guys. He said Tesla AI Day is pushed back to September 30th, as we may have an Optimus prototype working by then. And man, this Optimus prototype is so cool. Optimus Tesla bot. Guys, this Tesla bot is awesome. If you have not seen this, definitely pay attention for right now, because this bot is insane. Like, look at this picture of this Tesla bot here. He had an unveiling at, I think it was like the Austin factory opening or something. Here's what it looked like at this unveiling here. People could come up and look at it, and he says that he looks like that they could have a prototype done by September 30th of this year. If they have a successful Optimus prototype robot working by September 30th, I am going to go crazy, guys. I mean, that is just nuts. You know what I mean? Like, nobody would ever think that Tesla was truly going to have these bots done this quickly. Obviously, the bots aren't going to be done this quickly, but, to even have a prototype this fast is going to be a big accomplishment for Elon Musk and for Twitter overall. But one of the big things that I'm seeing, though, with this robot, it's going to help a lot of people out with different jobs and stuff like that. We won't have to do some of these maybe jobs that people don't like as much. Like, I know everybody likes different stuff. Some people prefer, construction. Some people prefer working in an office. Some people prefer, being a geologist and working outside or whatever. Like, there's so many different things that people like. But this bot might be able to do a lot of jobs that people just don't do, or jobs that are hard on people. That might be pretty cool there. So hopefully we continue to see Elon Musk keep pushing this bot. I feel like it can be pretty cool, guys. Let me know how you feel about the bot in the chat below, because I don't know how people exactly feel about this. I feel like some people might feel scared of it. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie I, Robot or not, but that movie has Will Smith in it, and it kind of shows, funny about that, there's actually a company called I, Robot, believe it or not, but there's a movie called I, Robot, and it's about these robots that they make that pretty much they'll cook and clean for you, they'll do different jobs and stuff like that, so then people don't have to do things as much. And in the movie, an AI computer actually takes over all these bots and like controls them. It's a very good movie. If you have not seen this, I would definitely recommend it, especially with everything coming out with all the bots and everything like that. And it's Will Smith. I mean, it's just it's a really good actor and a good movie. And I know he slapped Chris Rock and all that stuff, but I think the movie's still really good anyways. It's kind of like this movie. Yeah, I would say these movies are pretty close to each other. Like I Am Legend and I, Robot, like both of those are super good, and they both are about kind of like that end of world type of weird scenario. But yeah, it's a good movie. Kind of shows how like the AI could possibly take over those bots there. But nonetheless, though, it should be pretty big for Tesla over the next couple of years. Just keep in mind, guys, that as Tesla gets into these other things, they're probably going to have a lot of costs and different things like that that are going to be associated with this, and it could end up hurting Tesla in the shorter term, of course. So keep that in mind. Good morning, Vicky. Glad to see you here this morning. You're a little late, but hey, I'll take it, Vicky. Glad to see you joining up. No, I'm just joking. I'm just glad to see you here anyways, though. How's your stocks doing today? I know Tesla's down. Yeah, Fubo is down a little bit. I will say it's trying to come back a little bit. Vicky, what are you looking at today? If you're seeing anything cool, let me know in the chat for sure. I'll definitely look at that. George says AI is breaking yesterday's high. There we go, George. I'll take that. They're up 3%, and they're up on a day where a lot of growth stocks like DraftKings, Square, and a lot of those other stocks are falling off to the downside. So I'm really glad to see that good old AI is still running back up. I think that's great. So good call out there, George. Definitely glad for that one. I have AI in my portfolio, so I need him to come back. They need to get off that low of $13 for sure. $20 will do in the short term. If we could get to 20 and just hold above that, I think I'll be pretty happy there with AI. Peter says, good morning, y'all. What's up? Good morning, Peter. Glad to see you here in the chat. Of course, Peter, if you're seeing anything cool, definitely let me know. I'll check it out. Any big pieces of news or anything, just throw them in the chat, and we'll check out the stocks associated with that. On my watch list here to the downside, we still have Asana falling off after earnings. Looks like I'm also seeing like Roblox now climb to the bottom, down 6%, which is a little bit brutal, but look at the daily chart here. 6% is actually not a bad day for Roblox. We've been having way worse days than 6% over the past few months, so yeah, hopefully they keep doing well. AI is leading my watch list up, George, so that was a good call out there. Hopefully it keeps going. That's like one of the only growth stocks I'm seeing like up in the green today. I noticed space stock ASTR is holding up pretty well. If you guys are interested in playing this, maybe with like some day trades and stuff like that, it could be pretty good. There's a nice upper resistance around 2.65, and then there's a big support around 2.5. So there's a big range here. Maybe if we could break the range, it can start to run. I will say, guys, I've been seeing a lot of fake outs lately, so definitely be a little bit wary of some of these ranges. But yeah, of course, as always, just be a little bit careful of that. Let's see. Mike says, Tom, you must be exhausted doing all the live streaming by yourself. How's Mike doing? I see him in the night videos, but I hope all is well. Yeah, he's doing fine, Mike. He's doing great. He's just been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, of course, helping code some different bots. Of course, you always have to be updating the code to a lot of these bots too. So he's been doing a lot of that, Mike. Mike, what's your Discord name? I know that there's all types of different names in the Discord, but if you're in the Discord, definitely let me know your name in there. I'll shoot you a PM sometime, and maybe we can get together about some stocks or something like that. But Alex says Elon will change the robot name from Optimus to T1000. That would be awesome, Alex. I think that sounds like a pretty cool name. Good old T1000. That would be pretty sick, but that kind of reminds me of that trading platform, TC2000, I think it is. Hang on, let me find this, guys. You guys are going to laugh at this. It's TC2000. Look at this, guys. I don't know if you guys have ever seen TC2000, but it's like a pretty cool charting software, I guess you could say, program. They have obviously like a bunch of different platforms here. They even have a web platform, but you can see on their picture here, it's a pretty cool platform. It has like almost unlimited customability to it, but it is a little bit pricey, I think, here. Let me see if I can find the pricing. Yeah, because it is, I will say, it is a little bit pricey here. What is this for? This is just for, like, look at all this. You know, like, you got to pay for, like, all these screeners and the platinum and all this stuff. But hang on, I think there's, like, the software itself is, like, where it costs a lot, too. Hang on, we'll see this. Yeah, here we go, software. See, it's making me enter my email. It's all messed up, but it's all right. It's a pretty cool trading software, though, if you guys have never seen it. I used it for a while, and it was pretty cool, though, but I will say it is a little pricey. I think it's like a couple $100 a month or something like that. Good morning, Square. Glad to see you here this morning. You know, we're going to end the week strong. It's a pretty nice Friday. I will say it's not nice as far as the market action goes, but thanks for joining up, Square. Hopefully we continue to see AI and some of those other stocks recover up. Looks like they are really coming up here. They're almost back up to Friday's closing price. So if we get back up to there, I'll definitely be happy with that, and I'll take it. Keisha is saying, so with the payroll reports, do you think we'll have a green day today? Stocks seem a bit mixed. Yeah, personally, I don't think we're going to have a green day today, Keisha. You know, it looks like the SPY is already down 1% today. I see a pretty big resistance here at 414. That's a big resistance. We actually tested it like right at market open, but 414 has been a big level over the past few months anyways. Like if I go look at like a 180-day 1-hour chart, you can see like 414 where we hit at earlier this morning was huge back in February, March, and you know, even again in April it was big, and now we're in June and we're hitting it again. So yeah, 414 is going to be a big upper resistance today. I would definitely be careful of that. Maybe if we can come back up above 414, that would be pretty sick on the SPY. But yeah, nonetheless though, it's holding up okay today. I hope that it can come back up more. The main thing driving it down today though, Keisha, is really just the news with Elon, of course. Of course, he came out and had some really bad statements, and it made the market crash down. As we were talking about earlier, of course, it's never good. He says he feels super bad about the economy. He needs to cut 10% of Tesla jobs. That sounds pretty rough, guys. Cutting 10% of Tesla jobs. Like, man, I thought Tesla would be a company that would have maybe forecasted for this or something, but nonetheless, it does come as a pretty big surprise to me. And yeah, I agree. I'd say stocks are really mixed today. I have some stocks up. You know, AI is now up 5% again. And then we have a lot of other stocks down in the red, like Microsoft's in the red. I'm sure Apple's in the red. Let's see. Yeah, AAPL is in the red by 2.8%, guys. It's so far in the red that it's down there with my growth stock. So that is pretty crazy to see Apple down that much. Looks like Smith & Wesson is also tumbling off. Apparently, they're not going to do quite as well, given that Biden talked about gun stocks last night. I was kind of hoping that maybe some of these gun stocks would start to rip back up, but you know, it looks like SWBI is coming down, unfortunately, which is bad. He did have that speech where he said they needed to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and then they also said they need to raise the purchase age for guns up to 21 years old. Now, I know that the gun topic can get pretty controversial, guys, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but, you know, it can make for some pretty big moves out of some of these gun stocks like Smith & Wesson or Ruger or what have you. You know, I will say they've been kind of running up ahead of a lot of this legislation here, so I'm curious to see what happens. You know, are they going to raise the age to buy an AR-15 up to 21? I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they did that. That would make more sense than, you know, than banning them altogether, I guess, you know, in my opinion. You know, keep in mind, let's just say I support Smith & Wesson quite a bit monetarily, we'll say. We'll just say that. So I do have a few of these things, and you know, I enjoy some range time here and there. We'll just say that, but it's definitely a pretty scary thing, though. You know, whenever you look at everything bad that happens with all these things that happen, so it's a crazy time, guys. You know, I don't want to get too political with those guns, though, because of course it's a pretty controversial thing. But you know, we have Caterpillar today doing well, guys, up 1%. I'm noticing some of these slower moving stocks are doing a little bit better today, like Caterpillar. Looks like Starbucks is coming back up a little bit. I know Sean will be happy for that one if he's in here. Cornish is always looking at Starbucks and some of these slower movers. I'm also noticing, though, there is a few growth plays like RUN slowly coming back up into the green. You know, they're coming back above yesterday's closing price, and we're seeing them start to come back up quite a bit. I noticed End Phase is coming up, along with FSLR. They're actually having some pretty nice explosive moves up, guys. I don't know if you guys are noticing this at all, but FSLR is having a really good move here off of this $60 support, and it's having a pretty nice pop back. So I'll take that with FSLR. Looks like it's starting to finally break out, and hey, I feel like you guys can maybe catch some good momentum with this as long as it continues. But I know a lot of you are trying to like day trade the SPY and other things like that. I will say I do like day trading the SPY. It's one of my favorite ones. It does have a lot of price action involved with it, and like yesterday, you know, it double bottomed right there around 407 or 408. I remember yesterday Mike put this in the Discord right there on that double bottom, and it really rocketed up all day long since it hit that. So very interesting to see how it held there. I was kind of hoping for a move down through that, but you know, that move ended up not coming, so that was unfortunate. But nonetheless, I wasn't playing it because I was kind of waiting for that break. So good thing it didn't fake out. At least it played out nice there on that double bottom. But like I said, guys, those oil stocks are starting to come back. Oxy's ripping back up. We have, what are some other ones here? ZOM is on my watch list at the top. Pretty close to it anyways. CVX is, you know, towards the bottom, but, you know, they're a slow mover. They're still up quite well, though, intraday on the chart. Still is up a few dollars per share. Yeah, like $1.64, so nothing too bad with them. Yeah, you guys are getting a kick out of that Tesla bot name, the T1000. The Terminator. That's pretty funny there, Sam. That is hilarious. Peter says OKTA is trying to break out. Let's see. Good old Okta. I know we talked about this one a little bit earlier. Yeah, it is trying to come back here, Peter. It's trying to come back a little bit more. It's going to have to really shoot up, though. It's going to need to break above like 110 or 111, I think, to truly see like a, you know, like a true breakout on it. But yeah, I definitely like that move with it. It's definitely not bad there, Peter. I'll take that for sure. Keisha says VMW is not cooled off yet. Wow, it hasn't. I remember talking about this one earlier this week, and it's been holding up. Yeah, wow, it has been there, Keisha, doing very well. It's like right around $130. As far as this one goes, Keisha, I'm seeing a pretty big resistance coming up though, right around like 130, 150 to 170, right there around that high. But I will say, with the way it's been holding, I have a feeling it could end up breaking that. So good call, Keisha. This is a pretty good stock. It's just been consolidating here, and who knows, it might get that big pop up. Wow, on this daily chart, there's a big resistance up here around like 135. Maybe we can come up and touch 135, Keisha. That would be really nice for a stock like VMware if it could continue up. I will say this one has been very explosive, Keisha. It's been on quite the uptrend. I'll definitely take that. And guys, don't forget to smash that like button. We're about halfway through today's live stream. Of course, the more likes, the better. We're only at 10 likes right now. I think yesterday we got to like 13 or 14 or something. Let's try to beat that today. You know, let's try to get up to like maybe 20 likes on Friday, end the week strong, and, you know, give us some nice insights here. So, yeah, if we can, try to get those likes up. You know, in the voice of Matthew McConaughey, like I always say, you know, it's like these are rookie numbers here. You know, we need to get these numbers up. So yeah, smash that like button, guys. I'll definitely appreciate that. Let's go see on CNBC like what some of the big news is today. I know that the payrolls news was big. The Elon Musk news obviously was big too. It's good to see those payrolls were rising though, guys. That's always good to see for the workforce. But you know, nonetheless, the inflation and stuff is still going rampant, and I don't think that those numbers are gonna help stop anything like that. Of course, it's always good for the jobs in general, but I just don't think that payrolls are going to necessarily affect the market too much. You know, kind of like what we saw this morning. It didn't really do all that much. Let's see if we can see any big news here today. Walmart to open high-tech fulfillment centers to ship online orders faster. That's interesting. It sounds like they're kind of doing what Amazon does. You know, I know Amazon has a lot of big facilities and stuff like that. Looks like the first one's going to open in Illinois, which is actually really close to me. You know, I'm right there in Missouri, and I don't know where this is going to open in Illinois, but let's see. I wish that they would tell us exactly where. Yeah, they're not telling us. They're just saying in Illinois. Oh, here we go. In Joliet. I guess you'd pronounce that Joliet. Joliet, Illinois, about 40 miles southwest of Chicago. So that's pretty cool. You know, that's only like a couple hours, maybe 3 hours from my house or so. So not too bad. Hopefully I can get some nice Walmart packages even sooner, guys. But no, nonetheless though, this is pretty cool. You know, sounds like they're doing some stuff like Amazon, and you know, hey, it just seems like they're just continuing to grow and make their stuff even better there with Walmart. So that's great. Sean says, oh yeah, got numerous Starbucks spreads. There we go. Yeah, Sean, it's coming back up. It's doing quite well for us right now. Almost back up to $80 a share. I have a feeling 80 is going to pose as a pretty big resistance, but I will say it's looking pretty hot today, and hopefully she just keeps ripping right back up for us. It looks like it's definitely been on a nice uptrend. It did have a little bit of consolidation this week, as it, you know, it did fall down, it looks like, in the middle of the day on Wednesday, but you know, we ripped right back up, so that's great. Yeah, Sean says Zom's looking good too. Exxon Mobil, yeah, they are. I know these oil plays were looking great today. Exxon almost got up to $100. That would be nice if they could at least get to that, or even break it today. That would make for a great move, but you know, breaking 100 might be a little bit tough for them since they're already up quite a bit. Looks like Oxy definitely continued back. I know we talked about this one a little bit earlier too. They're continuing back up. Good old Chevron's continuing up too. So the oil plays are definitely ripping. And it looks like crude oil itself is ripping back. It's back up to 117 a barrel. Let's see that max daily chart with crude. Wow, yeah, guys, it looks like we are back on the uptrend with this. I don't know how high crude's going to get here, but I hope it starts to slow down soon. I know like the US, OPEC, and OPEC Plus, and a lot of those different countries that affect oil have been trying to make it fall back down a little bit, but I know that like Russia and a lot of those countries like oil prices higher because it definitely helps oil companies profit more, and a lot of those countries do just deal a lot with oil in general, so that's huge for them, and it's probably going to make oil just continue to, you know, go crazy. And I hope oil falls though, because /RB is gasoline futures, and we can see those are up to $4.19. I'm paying like $5 a gallon where I live right now, so it's been very brutal to say the least. Every time I fill up my tank, it's like $70 or something like that. So it's kind of insane. I couldn't imagine all the people like, you know, driving big trucks who own like small businesses and stuff. That must be really insane there. George says, do you know what has been said about CrowdStrike earnings, CRWD? I see they beat revenue and earnings, but I saw the stock dipped a bit. It's recovering today though. You know, I haven't seen too much about CrowdStrike here, George, but let me look into it a little bit. I'm sure that we can find something here on the Thinkorswim News tab. I have, ooh, okay, George. I see the main reason I think why they were falling off this morning. At least it looks like a lot of people have been lowering their price targets on CrowdStrike here. So you know, all these different companies like D.A. Davidson or BTIG, Oppenheimer adjusted theirs. Jeffries, which is huge. Jeffries adjusted their price target to 215 from 200, so that's great. They upped their target, but a lot of other people cut their targets. Like these two guys lowered their price targets down a little bit. It's always good to see Jeffries up in theirs, but you know, a lot of these other companies are kind of lowering theirs. Like Oppenheimer lowered theirs to 250 from 300. That's a pretty big move back down, guys. Like that's you know, that's pretty crazy to see Oppenheimer, you know, like lower their target by that much. That's quite a bit, guys. And you know, I think that's going to definitely affect CrowdStrike. That's why it's all over the place, I think, George. Of course, the earnings are playing a big role too, but you know, a lot of these people, even look at this RBC. RBC actually raised their target, so that's good, I guess. They actually raised theirs. They said strong fiscal Q1, and then they maintained that outperform rating. Yeah, kind of strange here. It does look like they did decent on earnings from what I'm seeing with a lot of these different posts here. Let's look into it a little bit more here, because there's definitely something. There's definitely going to be something as of something that they reported here that is not good. It might be like an outlook or something, you know. That could definitely be what we're seeing here. Let's see. Nope, it looks like those came in higher than expected. Reports. Let's see. Yep, they beat on subscription customers. Let's see. It looks like on their EPS, looks like their EPS and revenue actually beat too. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything too crazy. They beat on earnings and they raised their forecast, but like it says right here, it just isn't helping the stock. So, yeah, I'm trying to find something negative about these earnings, but everything I'm seeing is definitely good earnings there, George. I would say the main reason why they're down, I guess, is probably just due to a lot of people, cutting price targets and stuff. But I did see a lot of big people like Jeffries and RBC and people like that also raise their price target. So I am a little bit confused here. Um, yeah, I guess what this just goes to show you, George, is just stocks are crazy with earnings. This is why I don't like to play earnings and why it's kind of crazy here. Bick says, "Hi Tom, anything on Tesla? Should I buy puts or calls?" Let's see, good old Tesla. Ooh, Bick, personally, I think that you should be shorting Tesla here. I think you should maybe get some puts. I don't think that buying Tesla to the upside here is the way to go right now, especially with this bad news coming out. And even on like a technical level, on the daily chart, we rocketed up and we got pretty close up to like $800 here. That has been a huge resistance on Tesla. And actually the resistance was just lower, like right around like 795. And let's go see how close we got. We actually almost touched that level I have on my chart like perfectly, guys. Like right around 793 or 794. You can see on this 360-day 4-hour chart here, I've had this level on my chart ever since we had that wick all the way back on January 28th. And now we're hitting that level once again right on the money and we're falling off. So I would say Tesla to the downside. I could see Tesla at least falling off to maybe like $700 even. I think that would be the way to go because $700 is a pretty big level from where Tesla hit here in the past. And I will say for all of my technical traders out there, and I know you guys are going to make fun of me for drawing this because dang it, it always looks like this. But so there's a pretty nice little neckline right here on Tesla. And I'm kind of looking for the stock to come back down and touch somewhere around inside of this bubble here, maybe on that neckline again around $700. If we see that happen, that'll kind of form a nice like inverse head and shoulders pattern here. You can see there's a bit of like a head forming here. There's a bit of like a shoulder forming right there. And I feel like that if as long as Tesla can hold here at $700 where this shoulder lowered, even if it gets down to the low of that shoulder, like around 680, as long as we can hold that and start to go back up, I feel like this could be a pretty good like inverse head and shoulders type of play. If this was to the upside here, like if we took this chart and turned it upside down, a lot of people would probably think that this was looking pretty bearish. So I don't know. I think it's just setting up interestingly here, guys. I don't think that this might, like for example, this play might not work out. We have to see if this shoulder is going to form or not. If we do see that shoulder start to form, then I think Tesla might start to rocket back up, at least for like a month or two. They still might continue down over the course of like 6 months or so. But I do feel like for at least a couple weeks or something, they could at least get some nice upwards movement there. So maybe we'll see that play out that way, but I don't think we will. It's just going to be a tough go in the market, especially with all the crazy news coming out. We'll have to see if Tesla can stay within that range or not. But at least today, though, guys, I am not too optimistic. I am a little bit bearish on Tesla today. My only concern with Tesla to the downside today is that we're already down like 6 or 7%. Like if I was a betting man, I'd probably just stay away from this one today. But if I had to play it, I'd probably swing it to the downside, if anything. I just don't see it like rocketing back up intraday, especially not after the bad news came out. Maybe Elon will come out and say that news was overshadowed or something like that. But nonetheless, I think it's pretty crazy. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. I'll actually leave Tesla up here on the screen so you guys can see some nice price action with it, but I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, guys, I am back here, but yeah, it looks like Tesla started kind of turning back over a little bit more as I was gone there. So kind of funny to see that Tesla was falling over there. I almost said as I was speaking about it, but yeah, it really is turning over here, guys, back below 720, and it's never good to see it falling off that much here. Vicky says Elon created the rhetoric about the bad feeling on the economy to scare the potential unionization of employees at his company. Since when his or anyone's feelings about the economy count? The economy is strong and one just needs to look at the macro indicators. Opinions don't matter. JPM Equities market head has a 4,900 price target for the S&P in 2022. That's 20% upside. And I'm sure he didn't take the numbers out of his sleeve. Yeah, I know, Vicky. Yeah, I'm sure he does have a nice price target there for the S&P. But I'm also sure there's some analysts, with price targets to the downside too. But I will say right now, I'm not too optimistic about the economy roaring back to life right away. Especially with the Feds raising rates and everything. I just don't think it's going to happen so quickly. But I do think that is possible, maybe by December or something. But yeah, I definitely feel what you mean, Vicky. It's all just opinions, and he can say whatever he wants, but in the end, the only thing that matters is what actually happens in the market. And Elon can try to have some influence, and of course he does. He's a very influential person, but I don't think it's going to be too crazy as far as the economy continuing to crash. Like, I don't think we're going to see like a crash or anything like that. But I will say I would not be surprised if the SPY, consolidated a little bit more, maybe around 400 or something like that. I wouldn't be too surprised. But yeah, I hope the market comes back up soon, Vicky. I would love for us to reach that guy's price target this year. If we do, that would be that would be awesome. So hopefully we do get up to 4,900. Sean says, what levels you got on Big Cat? Yeah, Big Caterpillar. There we go. That's pretty funny there, Sean. What that makes me think about is some of those fireworks, how they're like Black Cat. It has like it's like Black Cat, like bottle rockets, and they got all types of stuff, but that is funny there. Yeah, Vicky says, because Elon has influence, he should keep his mouth shut. Yeah, I think so too, Vicky. He's starting to, I think, learn that he has the influence, and he's starting to use it a lot more, which is interesting. He's starting to weigh in on every situation. He's, no matter what it is, like if it's something with politics, he's talking about it. If it's something with guns, he's talking about it. If it's something with electric cars, he's talking about it. If it's something with the way the feds are reacting, he's talking about it. Like, pretty crazy there. But yeah, Sean, he says, what levels I have on Cat? So I'm really on Caterpillar here, Sean. In the short term, looks like we're kind of breaking out actually a little bit. There's well, maybe not. There's a pretty big resistance here from back on like August 12th of last year, actually, believe it or not. Let me kind of get this price line, and I'll throw it here on the chart. So I threw the price line on the chart. We'll kind of see today how close we are. Wow, Sean, that actually hit it like right on the button there, right around 224. So that is rough. That I cannot believe we hit 224 right there on the head. So that is pretty crazy that 224 is a big level like that. So it's still hitting that and coming down, Sean. So in my opinion, we're hitting right on that resistance there. I think that's going to maybe hold up today. Caterpillar is already up quite a bit, being 1.3%. We usually don't have too many huge explosive days like this. You can see, though, the last time we kind of busted through this level, we did have a nice explosive day where it kind of continued up. So maybe we can see a nice breakout with this, Sean. For next week, though, I'll definitely be looking for a bigger push up, maybe to around like 225 or 230. I would love to see a big move up like that, and I think it can definitely be possible with Caterpillar too. It's a big stock, and it's been holding up quite well over the past few weeks. So hopefully Caterpillar keeps running up, and like I said, I think there's a big potential of that, Sean, for them to maybe go above that resistance, maybe next week or something. I just don't really see it too much today. As far as support, though, I see a big one at 220, and then I have another one down here right around 218. So keep that in mind there. Vicky says, or I should say George is saying DBX is up 4% today. This is unusual. Let's see, good old DBX. Dropbox. Wow, it is. It's actually having a very nice intraday move here, George. Wow, it's really rocketing. Let me look at the news here on this one because I bet that there's something going on. Let's see. Wow, it looks like yesterday they had their management presented something at Jeffrey's software conference. So that's very interesting. Sounds like they presented something, and who knows, maybe that presentation ended up going better than expected. But either way, they're getting a lot of volume in here. Really good call out, George. This is a very interesting stock, interesting setup, and honestly, I'm glad to be looking at DBX here because, yeah, it's really ripping back. Look at that daily. We were at $19 over the past 10 trading days. Now we're all the way back up to $22.60 or something like that. So kind of insane to see that type of move, George. That's a big run up there, and I'm glad to see that one. Vicky, though, says that we're still in a bear market, and bear markets can have rallies. The bear market is expected to end between September 22nd and October 22nd, so somewhere between that month. She also says the worst case for the S&P is that it will go down to 3,200, and the best case is 3,500. So potential downside is there. Let's see, 3,200 and 3,500 on SPX. Wow, yeah, that would be a big drop, Vicky. Yeah, even down to 3,500 would be pretty big. And I'll tell you, if we got down to 3,500 even, we'd be getting really close to that 1,000 SMA. And I will say the 1,000 SMAs came into play a few times on the daily chart of SPX here over the years, especially during that China crash. We hit right on that 1,000 SMA and ripped up. And the 1,000 SMA wouldn't have been too bad of a buying point during the COVID crash even. It did keep going a little bit lower, but within just a couple weeks, we were right back up above that. So wouldn't have been too bad there, but nonetheless, it even had a pretty big bounce off of it there. But I'm really worried that maybe we will get down to like 3,500 there, Vicky. Like she says, downside potential is still there, and personally, I think that there's still some downside to the market too. I think that there's still some room down, at least in the short term. I feel like longer term though we'll be just fine. It's just the market's gonna go crazy. Like she said, it might go down for another 3 months, but maybe by the end of the year, then we'll have a nice maybe rip back up, maybe a nice Christmas recovery or something, Vicky. Who knows? That could be nice. Maybe a nice Christmas tear back to the upside. I know a lot of those retailers and stuff generally do pretty good around then, so maybe they'll start to pop. Vic says, what about Apple? Let's see. Let's go check out Apple here really quick. I know it was down earlier. It looks like it's down 3% here today. Looks like the chart's taking a few minutes to load up there, actually. Thinkorswim's slow today, guys. I don't know what's going on with this, but yeah, Apple's really ripping down here, Bic. Personally, I don't like the setup here with Apple. I think it can continue down a little bit lower. I would not be too surprised if Apple came down and tested 144. I see that as being a pretty big support down there. So, personally, I could see Apple going down. We just broke a big support to the downside right around 147. Since we're breaking that down, I really think Apple can continue lower. We had a lot of consolidation around 150 this week, which is a pretty big resistance level there. It's huge, actually. Apple's had tons of bounces off of 150, and once again, we're seeing it play right off of that, and we're moving back down. So, yeah, to me, I think Apple can continue down, Bic. And if Apple continues down, that means I think pretty much like SPY might continue down today. And I think that is a possibility. I think a lot of stocks are in the red, and it's been pretty hard to trade some of these stocks today. They've been all over the place, and the SPY's it's down 1%, but most of this move came in pre-market. Ever since the market opened, we haven't really had too much actual movement here, so pretty crazy. Keisha says, check out DQ. Nice setup. What is that, Dairy Queen? Let's see. Oh, okay. DAC Energy or DACOW Energy. That's pretty cool. Let's see. 1 year daily. Wow, they are really coming up there, Keisha. Yeah, it definitely is a nice setup. Really nice on that daily chart. I wish I would have seen this one like a week or two ago, Keisha, because I love this type of setup, and I would have been pretty bullish on that if I would have seen that like in the middle of the range there. So, man, that's could have been a pretty good play there. Thanks, though, for pointing that out, Keisha. It's definitely an awesome stock. Naga says, can you tell me about LI? So, Naga, LI, obviously, it's a China stock. It's a China EV play, And I heard that LI and XPEV were doing a little bit better than NEO were over the past few months. I remember seeing some pretty good news with that, actually. I'll see if I can find that, but nonetheless, LI is a China stock. It's going to be pretty big there. Keep in mind, though, Warren Buffett is in BYDDY, which is BYD. And looking at BYDDY, it's been really kind of recovering up, believe it or not. So kind of crazy to see how Warren Buffett's EV stock has been outperforming all the other EV stocks. I think that's pretty telling there, guys. I think that's going to be a pretty big deal over the next couple months because, you know, we've been seeing NEO, Tesla, and a lot of other stocks dip down. XPEV, LI, like we're talking about, they're all dipping off, and BYDDY is still ripping, but, you know, LI is doing pretty good there, Naga. For the longer term, I think LI might do pretty good. It's very hard to gauge, though, because they're a Chinese EV company. It's hard to say whether or not their numbers are reputable or not. Sometimes those Chinese companies lie with their numbers. They've definitely been caught doing that in the past. I'm not saying LI is doing that, but just keep in mind that that is some type of possibility here when you're looking at their stock. And also, it's just a China stock. So if China starts doing something like with Taiwan or something like that, it could definitely make for a pretty crazy scenario. So, you know, there is some risk that comes in with LI being a China stock, but in the end, it's going to be another EV gamble play, in my opinion. It's going to be just like buying up Rivian or Lucid or something like that. I know it is over there in China, so it's a totally different market, but I will say it's going to be another one of those growth EV companies, and it's probably going to be really volatile. Like if you buy it here, it's probably going to go up and down quite a bit before it ends up having a, I guess you could say, like a nice longer term uptrend there. So yeah, those are my thoughts on LI. I like them. I think they're pretty good, and for the longer term, I think they'll do okay. It's just really hard to gauge these newer EV companies right now. You know, they have a lot of room to go, and they need to like up their production and start doing better with a lot of numbers. So we'll have to see where they end up, but hopefully they end up running to the upside. But George says AI is now back above $19 a share. That is great to see, George. Yeah, they're all the way up to 19. They're actually breaking it. They're up above the closing price before that big drop on earnings. So glad to see that. Really good recovery today, George. That's awesome. I need this. I own AI. They're in my portfolio. So hopefully it keeps going up. That would be nice. Hopefully Intel's up too. Let's see. Good old Intel. Oh no, Intel's kind of falling back off. Honestly, I would not be too surprised if Intel went down for the next few months. Looks like AMD is kind of falling back off too after running up to 109 yesterday. So yeah, we are seeing some pullbacks today, guys. SPY is starting to turn back over. We have Apple and Microsoft down in the red. Looks like they're just continuing to sell off too. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for more downwards movement today, guys. I appreciate you guys joining up all week long. Vicky, Bick, Keisha, Naga, George, Square, Peter, Hunter, let's see, Alex, of course, who else? JD, Sam. Thank you guys so much for joining up. I really appreciate it. You know, it's always nice to have some nice conversations about the market and everything like that. So I really appreciate it. It's definitely pretty entertaining. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully we can end the week strong. You know, if you guys start looking at any trades or anything like that, come let me know in Discord. I'll be in there all day if you guys are looking to trade anything. Maybe we can start talking about some day trades and stuff like that in the discussion chat. So yeah, if you guys are interested, just join up there. But other than that, have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. Hopefully you guys get out there and play some golf or something like Sean, or hopefully you guys just have some fun or some nice time with the family. You know, try to forget about the market. I know sometimes it's hard to on the weekends, but you know, sometimes it's good to put the market on the back burner for a couple days, you know, then you're fresh for Monday. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.